Going into this one here, we're going to start off on Apocalypse. Now, the clock does say 3, and as I learned yesterday from Zipmaster Flex, apparently 3 a.m. is demon time.
Yeah.
That's when all the demons come out and cause a bunch of chaos and crazy shenanigans.
I think it's sometimes referred to as like the witching hour as well.
That might be true also. So yeah, definitely, you can see by the background in this game, the demons are out, and it depends. If Tinix ends up winning this one, he may be the bracket demon for simplE.
I mean, he's already been a bracket demon for Akno, and of course, like, we've seen the history between simplE and Akno, relatively similar in approximate skill level. So there's actually real potential for Tinix, the underdog in this one, to get that upset and get that set over simplE.
Now coming in with the Caspian pick, we've seen Sandstorm mention Caspian several times on Twitter, talking about how people are not paying attention to how good this character is. People are sleeping on Caspian, and we've seen a couple Caspians today. One was, I believe, Godly, and then now we also have Tinix, though Godly kind of moved off a bit. Oh, Tinix with the ground pound, cleaning this one up, doesn't even need another hit. You saw him back up just enough that in case simplE was going to find the hit there, simplE would have at least had to touch the wall, which means an incoming ground pound, possible side air coming in from Tinix. If he's worried about the vertical neutral air, may come in with the gauntlet side air. If he's just going to go for the straight up KO right away, it could be that ground pound. Yo, Tinix pushing simplE to the edge yet again.
I love that. It's like a reversal of roles as Tinix almost gets another one. In his earlier sets, simplE was doing that. The dodge through into turnaround ground pound, and it was so successful in the edge guards. I remember Taza talking about it time and time again, and it's Tinix this time. He did the dodge up, gets the ground pound, gets the KO, and he's going to try to push this lead a little bit, goes for the end sig, no connection on either side.
Seeing Tinix over on the wall, has gauntlets in hand. simplE not choosing to engage, playing back enough so that when Tinix wants to recover back to the main platform, right over that corner, immediately punish the landing. D-Light side air, gets the stock, essentially evens this one up, though Tinix is about 50 to 70 damage ahead. And
that was a great downlight. You see that kind of mechanic where the weapon toss will actually go through if he connects, and that's what happened. simplE hit him with the downlight, so Tinix's weapon toss did nothing on that.
Ooh, that was a bold ground pound over the edge, though. For some reason, we've seen at least 1 or 2 of those like that hit earlier today from several different Qatar players.
Yo, but simplE really respected it. You didn't see him go for the dodge through into the turnaround ground pound. Instead, he backed away, went back up onto the stage, knows he needs to get a little bit more damage before he can even think about going for a reversal onto Tinix.
Gauntlets in hand, simplE with the sword over on the corner. You saw him move up just a little bit, but then he backed down. Didn't want to get caught with his landing punished by Tinix.
Oh!
simplE, actually from the middle of the stage, is going to KO. The strength on this character and that signature, getting the KO on a Val player from the middle of the stage. Tinix playing this character very well.
Yeah, that sig is insane. Getting a KO that early onto simplE gives Tinix a really nice lead here. simplE needs to get this stock ASAP because he's already taken damage on his final stock here in game number 1.
Now, getting a stock as early as possible does sound like an obvious move, but for a player like simplE, who does tend to take his time, that means his damage output and damage pace is just a little bit slower. So if you can remove as much time as possible from that equation, side signature right over the corner is going to get the KO. simplE bringing this one back. We are even on stocks, but again, he's about 50 to 70 damage behind. Weapon spawn on the field, simplE grabs it. Gonna juggle actually back to the more damaged sword between those two in an attempt to delay the weapon spawn. I gotta say, it's a little bit of a misstep there. One juggle is not going to delay the weapon spawn that much further, but he does already have damage on this sword, so it's a higher likelihood that he will get disarmed earlier.
I think the bigger priority for simplE, though, was to have a sword. That's his comfort weapon. I mean, he carries it over from his Bodvar, from his Koji. It makes sense that he's going to want that in these final moments, and it's getting him the damage that he needs, but he goes for another ground pound. Tinix not going to go for the turnaround. Instead, wants the Katars for the potential maybe N-Light, N-Sig, or N-Light recovery.
Neutral air coming out from simplE. One thing he does have to worry about is because he grabbed 2 swords, that means his next weapon is going to be gauntlets, and it won't matter. Right as that weapon spawn was coming in, Tinix said, no, you're done. That's it. It's over, and he gets the victory there. All it took was 444 damage, Duke.
Dude, I really want to call out that Tinix is recognizing these habits of simplE. We saw simplE, he's been doing this wall touch, fall off, wall touch, fall off, and then he picks his chance to go up, go for that side air, and Tinix called it out, did a dash in, and like got inside of that and beat it out, and just there at the end was keeping track of the jumps of simpLe, called the landing out, hit the side sig for the KO. I'm starting to think like Tinix has been paying attention, and this is going to slowly build into a Tinix W.
And that shows a smart line of thinking for virtually any person that he's going to go up against. That's not just applicable against simpLe. It's not just applicable against Val players or Gauntlet players or Sword players. Like, being able to pick up on those things and execute on those, like, that's the reason Tinix is where he is. And it seems like he may not be stopping anytime soon based on how he won that last game.
All right, Tinix, we're going to see a little bit more Qatar play come out. Good patience on that one. Ended up getting the side light into the end light. Still needs a little bit more damage. One of the reasons why, like we talked about how Caspian doesn't get played a lot, one of the reasons why is because you have like this Qatars, which are great for damage build, but generally will struggle in the KO, and Gauntlets can struggle as well if you're not getting those recoveries. But clearly we're seeing the side sig come out from simpLe. He's going to KO with the sword.
Now, even though we've seen Tinix come out on top of several edgeguard situations, it's been more of those long, extended edgeguard situations, not just the quick ones. The quick ones usually come out from simpLe. Now, that's a pretty quick one right there, but I do worry if I'm a Tinix fan about the side signature on sword over the edge. simpLe's done that so many times. He's picked up several stocks with it, and you don't need those long, extended edgeguard situations. That is a Val special, to be able to get that sort of unique property if you engage like right over the corner, or if you do it like straight up against the wall.
And especially on a map like Demon Island where that wall is so small, that Val side signature, we saw simpLe hitting that earlier today, and there you see it again. It can cover pretty much the entirety of that wall as well as kind of off the wall. It's such a solid threat. You do not want to be off stage while simpLe's on stage.
It's like straight up full coverage. That is the insurance plan where it doesn't matter if you're in network, doesn't matter if you're out of network, you're covered no matter what.
It's coast-to-coast coverage coming out. And simpLe, he's got that damage advantage. Tinix going to get in, get a little nair. Doesn't get him off stage. I think that's what he was looking for. You saw him kind of like stutter after he hit that nair.
Bro, it seems like simpLe does not know what to do off stage except side signature. Like, Tinix is straight up above him, and he's like, you know, I'm going to look at my flowchart. It's only one box. Is he on the edge? Yes, side signature.
Are they on the stage? No, don't side sig.
Yep.
Are they in off stage? Side sig.
See Tinix throwing a side signature right over the corner. It seemed like it was going to linger for a second, but that little green smoke cloud from this Plague Knight recovery off the top. simpLe is going to take the lead.
Suddenly, Tinix not able to get those connections onto simpLe. The habits have changed, and Tinix is struggling to finish off the stocks. The side sig thrown out. simpLe able to spot dodge and get a punish. Things looking good for simpLe, and he has Tinix high, so he can't go for the side sig. Just going to be looking for side airs.
Is he going to go for it this time?
Whoa.
Oh, he went for the reverse. Turning that one around, didn't find a connection on it. He did put out a lot of damage over on that edgeguard situation without really putting himself in any danger whatsoever. Going to pick up the second blast of that one as well. simpLe in a great spot.
Yeah, simpLe's got the damage. Things are looking rough for Tinix. He's going to need a big momentum swing or an offstage situation in order to bring this one back. N-Sig thrown out. simpLe can kind of fish a little bit because he's got some health to play with. The side air should do it. Tinix was in sweat beads. No, he still gets back.
simpLe, what are you doing? There was a weapon spawn on the field. Tinix is going to fall, but there was a weapon spawn on the field. He could go over, grab it, throw that weapon out for the safe edgeguard situation, but he went for the extremely risky play of going for that downlight. They're those side signatures that he was using really well right over the corner. Recovery KO off the top, and then here we are. Bro, come on, man. What are you going for with that? That was a bold gambit. That Tinix, if he didn't go for that ground pound, he could have gotten through and recovered back to the main stage. Could have even dared in the wall without having to use any of his in-air movement options beyond that.
I mean, you saw the sweat beads come out from simpLe, and Tinix was hoping, like, that was the situation, right? simpLe was so undamaged. Tinix tried to complete a KO on the offstage. Unfortunately, just didn't connect with that ground pound, which could have led to, like, a dare or a nair for a KO. And instead, simpLe walks away with one on the board. It's going to tie it up, and simpLe's got the weapon denial.
Now we're over here on Brawlhalla, going to be a smaller stage. simpLe chasing into the air, going to be really tough to find the KO off the top this early in the game. Even though Tinix is in yellow, that's going to be almost impossible. You saw he was pretty close to orange. Okay, neutral sig, going to send over into the corner, but again, going to be tough to find the KOs this early in the stock. Neutral signature's second one does it after the recovery for a little bit of damage in between. First stock goes the way of simpLe. He is barely touched.
Yeah, more tough than those KOs is the fact that Tinix got no damage put out. He was just kind of floating there, taking hit after hit from simple, and now he's basically a full stock behind. And again, he's going to need those big momentum swings. The side stick could do it. We saw how quickly it KO'd in game number 1.
Gauntlets in hand for Tinix, not finding too much in the way of momentum. He's finding like one hit. Ground pound could start something off. simple's able to get through the second ground pound, really kind of halting any progression towards a successful edge guard from Tinix. Yeah, Tinix is just taking punishment now.
I mean, that offstage situation, though, did show why this map is a little bit better for Tinix. He was able to avoid that side sig and get a little bit of a turnaround, but simple again. Back to the classic simple on stage, just complete coverage, making sure that the opponent just runs out of options.
simple just playing some raw sword neutral here. You'll see him like run away for a second, then turn around, throw out a defensive move, like a sidelight, which will maybe push a little bit more towards his opponent, but only after they've underspaced the move that they needed to do. Or he'll throw out that defensive neutral light in case they get too close. There you go. You see him walking away.
Yep.
Now he wants to move back in.
One of simple's greatest strengths is his spacing, his ability to just outspace the opponent and punish. Side air, weapon toss. Tinix will get a stock off of simple, but he is still a full stock behind.
Did have his choice of weapons, threw away the gauntlets, picking up the katars in hand. It's gauntlets this time for simple. We'll see if he's able to find his way in, or if he just kind of moves back to that sword gameplay that we saw before.
Who didn't connect with the side light. Tinix, again, struggling to find hits on the simple.
So many in-air movement options from simple burn before he actually moved in to attempt a move. Ground pound coming in. He's thrown out several ground pounds on stage. Side signature sending Tinix into the weaker position. Gets back. No immediate punish yet. That neutral air is going to send Tinix off screen, but he does safely land. Grabs the gauntlets. Now in the edgeguard situation. Barely gets through the second dare that could have spelt the end of the stock. But that recovery off the top will spell the end of that game. 573 damage. That meant on the other side 267 from Tinix. So he was just completely limited that entire game.
Yeah, complete control coming out from simple.
There's that recovery off the top. That was simple with 2 stocks to his name by the time that one was done. You see him coming out with the defense stance. Wants to live as long as possible because he's going up against Tinix, who's in the strength stance. So he's going to have some strength behind so many, well, technically all of his moves.
Yeah, that's how it works. It does some quick math, and the defense makes it so you take a little bit less damage the more defense you have. It also sends you less far. Offstage opportunity, though. Tinix doesn't need to send him too far, but he gets stage spiked, and the turnaround. One more hit.
Okay, he ended up getting to the wall, touching. Getting back to the main platform. He's still moving over towards the left side of the stage. Now he gets back, has the weapon in hand, but he's taking so much damage. He's in the orange. He's not far from red. simple has the sword in hand, so we're probably going to see some of the similar stuff, that like run away, then turn around side air, neutral lights, a lot of neutral lights coming out from simple today.
I mean, at the end of it, though, being able to survive that situation, such a threatening spot to be in, is nice because it gives you opportunities to put out more damage. He just needs to make sure he makes the most of this life that he's got.
Gauntlets v gauntlets. Slowing down just a frog's hair. simple now has the sword in hand. Recovery KOing off the top. First stock for simple. He's sitting at less than 100 damage now. So again, a massive lead for simple. He's sitting in a very good spot, given that he's also up 2-1 in the set against Tinix.
Man, simple just out-adjusted Tinix, really. Like, lost game 1, and then game 2 and game 3, complete control. Knew exactly what he needed to do to pick apart Tinix. Doesn't hit the ground pound, but he's still good. Still has all of this stage control. So much space. There's the third exclamation point. Tinix gets back up. Ensig needs the stock, though.
Almost found a second one. That certainly would have led to the KO, but simple punished that one. Then we saw a GC side sig come out from Tinix. simple punished that one. Another side sig, simple punished that one as well. These signatures that Tinix is throwing out are not working. They're not making connections, and he's getting punished every single time, which puts him further and further behind.
Yeah, Tinix getting a little bit desperate here, and this is what I was talking about with the Caspians, right? Great for building damage, but if you can't hit the sig, if you can't get that recovery, then you can't KO, and that's what's happening right now is Tinix is throwing sig after sig, and simple's avoiding it all and getting punishes. Even if it's just a neutral light, it's a punish. It's extra damage.
simple retreating over the wall. Gets through that side signature. Neutral light into the recovery from Tinix. gets the first stock from simpLe, but that was a long stock. That was 2 minutes and 15 seconds worth of stock for simpLe's number one. And Tinix's second stock is gone.
Rinse and repeat. Didn't hit the first recovery, and he's like, oh, you dodged that way? Let me just cover it this time with my second recovery. And simpLe, a full stock up and more over Tinix.
Just kind of standing still after that one. Continuing to stand still, inching forward just a little bit. simpLe's spacing, like you mentioned earlier, really has been on point today against Tinix. Anytime this slows down whatsoever, that gives simpLe plenty of time to really focus on that spacing.
Tinix really trying to force simpLe to make that forward action. Isn't really working for him, though, as simpLe is getting more and more hits. Tinix trying to find something to bring this one back. He's not getting any momentum. He's not getting those hits, and he has the gauntlets in hand, but this is his upper bracket stock right now.
simpLe still in white on his second stock as he takes the final from Tinix's Plague Knight. That is going to be the set 3-1 in favor of simpLe. He's going to be moving on into the winners finals. Incredible work from simpLe. He's going to be facing the like